Timor-Leste's Prime Minister meets with Russian President Vladimir Putin at the ASEAN-Russia summit. Timorese customs seized thousands of illegal cigarettes at Timor Bay port. On World Blood Donor Day, a plea to give blood to address the nation's short supplies. First Nations students from remote communities gather for a festival of sports and storytelling in Central Australia. Welcome back to RTTL World News. I'm Zegedes. Prime Minister Sanana Gusmao traveled to Russia this week to participate in the 2026 ASEAN-Russia summit in Kazan. On the sidelines of the summit, the Prime Minister held meetings with Russian President Vladimir Putin and other leaders to advance Timor-Leste's diplomatic and economic partnerships.
Leaders from Southeast Asia gathered in Kazan, Russia for the 35th Association of Southeast Asian Nations ASEAN-Russia Summit. Opening the two-day summit, Russian President Vladimir Putin welcomed leaders from all 11 ASEAN nations with optimism for the future of cooperation.
Russia is prepared to continue active joint work with ASEAN member states to strengthen strategic partnership for the interest of ensuring security, well-being and prosperity of our peoples and countries, as well as of the Eurasian region in general.
Throughout the high-level meeting, regional leaders discussed sustainable development, trade and investment, food and energy security, science and technology cooperation, and people-to-people exchanges. At the plenary session, President Putin applauded ASEAN's strengths as a regional bloc.
It has withstood the test of time, has built a system of interstate cooperation based on mutually recognized norms of international law and mutual respect of interests of one another. It is those very principles that are at the base of the relations between Russia and ASEAN.
As the current chair of ASEAN and co-chair of the summit, Philippines President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. highlighted the importance of relations between Russia and the Southeast Asian bloc.
In an era of deepening geopolitical uncertainty, the value of steady political and security engagement between ASEAN and Russia cannot be overstated.
Following the plenary, Timor-Leste's Prime Minister Sanana Gusmao held a bilateral meeting with the Russian president to strengthen ties and explore the future of cooperation. Prime Minister Gusmao highlighted lack of jobs and human resources, appealing to President Putin for Russian support.
We will try our best to strengthen our institutions and create opportunities for our people. We therefore value cooperation and partnerships that can help support our country and our region. This includes foreign investment from Russia, which would be very welcome in our country.
The Timorese government is eager to open its embassy in Moscow and hopes for the same initiative from Russia. Russian President Vladimir Putin said that Timor-Leste's accession to ASEAN helps reinforce the young country's position in global affairs.
We are interested in developing partnership in different areas, primarily in the area of energy, the exploitation of natural resources and the tourism. We see opportunities in improving quite insignificant amounts of trade as of now.
Closing the summit, the co-chairs outlined key documents that were adopted, including the Kazan Declaration 2026.
Together, these documents provide a comprehensive roadmap for expanding practical cooperation and delivering tangible results and benefits to our peoples in the years to come.
It highlights specifically the commitment of all of our states to building a just and democratic multipolar world order founded on widely recognized principles of international law and the UN Charter.
As ASEAN and Russia chart the next chapter of their strategic partnership, Timor-Leste is positioning itself to play an increasingly active role in the region. Sonia Madeira, RTTL World News.
830 cartons of illegal cigarettes have been seized at Timor Bay port. The smuggled cigarette packs were found in a container sent from Vietnam. Authorities say if the cigarette had been sold, the government would have lost $300,000 in tax revenue.
Last Friday, the Timorese National Police and Customs Authority confiscated millions of illegal cigarettes at the Tibar Bay port in Likisa. 830 cartons of Marlboro cigarettes were intercepted in a 40-foot container that entered the port without licensing documents.
We identified that the license to import the goods said there were tables and chairs in the container, but there were 830 cartons of cigarettes inside.
The police commander says the confiscated products will be handed over to the prosecution office for further investigation.
The cigarettes are illegal because they are not licensed. Therefore, they have been brought in for criminal investigation to be tried before the public prosecutor.
Last year, smuggled cigarette packs were found in a container sent from Cambodia. The recently seized cigarettes were sent from Vietnam by a Chinese national.
The owner of the goods originated from China. Then there is a Timorese company with the initials BM who imported to the territory of Timor-Leste.
Mr. Reyes said the police investigation has identified one person from the MB company.
We continue to track who is involved. We will call all to take responsibility for their actions.
The Marlboro labeled packets are estimated to be worth more than $300,000 in tax revenue.
As the goods do not meet the criteria of Ministry of Health and also against Law Number 14/2016, then its tax value is zero. We can only prepare to destroy them.
A tobacco control advocate said a lack of law enforcement on Timor-Leste's land borders and ports have led to an increase of illicit cigarettes since 2022.
This is economically also contribute to loss of tax for Timor-Leste, which this country can use to support health and education.
Mr. Fernandez is also concerned about the rise of tobacco consumption in Timor-Leste.
Currently, we have about 40.2%. Both sexes, men and women, are smoke daily here in Timor. So this shows that the prevalence of smoking here is very high.
He urged authorities to continue to crack down on illicit cigarettes and improve enforcement and public awareness.
Government to enforce coordination between police, port authority, inspection authority, and Minister of Commerce, and etc. They should have a task force. They should have a regular meeting. They should have a good integrated work plan on that.
According to the World Health Organization's latest report, Timor-Leste has one of the highest tobacco use rates in the world, with more than a third of its population aged 15 and over smoking daily. In 2023, the Timorese government increased the tobacco tax from $50 per kilo to $100 per kilo in an effort to make tobacco less affordable and reduce the country's high smoking rates. Vicky Madeira, Juvenal da Silva, RTTL World News.
This year's International World Blood Donor Day has highlighted the importance of donating a single drop of humanity. And in Dili, the Australian Embassy joined with the National Blood Bank to host a blood drive to encourage more people to give blood to sustain a safe and reliable supply.
Real-life heroes saving lives. 18 groups of people voluntarily donated their blood to celebrate World Blood Donation Day last week.
This is my third time participating in the activity, I think this activity is very important so we can save other people's lives. I hope a drop of blood I offer today can save other people's lives.
Aware of the chronic shortage of voluntary donors, Ms. Correa notes that families are increasingly stepping forward to donate blood for their loved ones.
When patients need blood, the family has to donate blood. So I think this activity is very important to help the blood bank, so when patients are admitted at the hospital, the blood is available.
The Australian Embassy hosts an annual blood drive on World Blood Donor Day, recognizing the vital contributions of volunteer donors.
Blood is incredibly valuable. It helps save lives. We know it helps save lives of mothers who have complications during pregnancy, children who get serious cases of dengue. So we really value the opportunity to be able to contribute.
This year's theme, A Drop of Humanity, Donate Blood, Save Lives. The campaign calls on everyone to give blood voluntarily to help those in need.
I encourage everyone to take the opportunity where you can to donate blood regularly. You never know when you or someone in your family might need a blood transfusion.
The National Blood Bank operates with a small team and limited resources, yet it continues to collect blood to respond to national needs.
In a day, normally 24 hours, they need around 50 or 60 units in a day.
Mr. Afonso told RTTL that the National Blood Bank will often be forced to call on volunteers, families, and organizations like the Red Cross when blood is not available.
We will contact our partners like CVTL because they mobilize the volunteers donors, and we will call or contact the volunteers donors with the same blood groups. Like before the patient is O negative, we contact the volunteers donors with the O negative.
According to the World Health Organization standard, Timor-Leste needs at least 13,000 blood donors annually to sustain a reliable supply. However, data from the National Blood Bank shows that only 7,204 people came forward to donate blood in 2025, leaving the country nearly 6,000 donors short of a safe and reliable supply. Pauline Quintam, Fernanda Maria, RTTL World News.
Despite decades of effort to improve child nutrition, the situation remains unchanged. Timor-Leste continues to face significant challenges in improving child nutrition and survival, with child stunting remaining among the highest in the world. UNICEF representative to Timor-Leste, Patricia Di Giovanni, sat down with RTTL World News to discuss the factors behind these trends, the impact of UNICEF's programs, and the barriers that continue to affect child health and vaccination coverage across the country. Timor-Leste has one of the world's highest rates of child stunting, affecting 40% of children under 5. What are the main factors driving malnutrition in the country?
So the obvious thing is food, the availability of good, nutritious food at the right quantities that children can have. So this is the first thing, but we have to also look, often the problem starts even before the baby is born, because mama might be anemic or might not be healthy herself. So the baby is already born maybe underweight. This is number one. Then we look at, is the baby being breastfed, at least for the first 6 months, because we understand that breastfeeding is really great in getting nutritious things for babies. And in this country there is a varied success with breastfeeding as well. So then the baby gets to a certain age and we look at complementary food. So what food is the baby getting after finishes breastfeeding? And we need to make sure that that food is also nutritious, readily available, the difference between which babies get in the household, water. Are babies getting good, clean water? Because we know that when the water is not clean, this can also affect the health of children, mothers, everybody. This is a human factor.
What specific program has UNICEF worked on to address these underlying causes over the last decade?
At the baby level, we are working with the appropriate ministries to look at health services, getting pregnant women up to date with all of their medication, anemia, all the things I said before, to increase the chances of babies being not born with already these kind of nutrition problems.
The recent demographic and health survey shows that the percentage of children aged under 5 experiencing stunting has reduced by just 1% in the last 10 years. What factors have contributed to this limited progress?
I think that in some respects, climate change is also a challenge, because every time we have flooding, every time we have droughts, every time we have mudslides, this sets the community back in terms of the health services, in terms of what's available in the community. And we know that we need to recover from those things so that we can continue with development. I think also the other challenges is getting all the different components to work with each other.
While the proportion of children receiving no vaccinations has fallen and full vaccination coverage has increased over the past decade, infant mortality has risen slightly and under 5 mortality has remained unchanged. What does this tell us about the relationship between immunizations and child survival in Timor-Leste?
Initially, I will tell you, we need to have much higher immunization rates. That is the first thing that I would encourage, because we have direct control over that. Mama and Papa can decide to give immunization. That way children are not fighting diseases at the same time as they are fighting other illnesses that cannot be prevented.
Vaccination rates have improved, but only 52% of children aged 12 to 23 months are fully vaccinated. What are the main barriers preventing greater coverage?
So again, we want to look at what is the situation. I think usually it's knowledge. Do the parents know they should come back and get fully vaccinated? Because what we mean by fully vaccinated is, number one, some of the shots you have to have 2 or 3 to be able to fully vaccinate against that illness. But the other thing also is fully vaccinated means, have you had all of the ones? So not just the number of vaccines, but all of the whole set. And so sometimes I think this is complicated. Is there follow-up done at the local level that parents know they have to bring back the baby and get vaccinated? And it can be quite, especially in the rural areas, it can be quite difficult to bring the baby down to the health centre again and again and again, because vaccination happens at different times at, I think, 3 months and then again later in life as well. 3 months, 9 months, and then there's one vaccination at 12 years, there's one. That's what's called fully vaccinated. So it's not just you go once to the health centre and you get it all done. You have to go back. And this becomes sometimes complex. Does the family have transport? Do they have the knowledge? Do they have the transport? Do they have the availability? And then are the health workers following up? Is the medicine available in the community? So all of those things are factors that we look at.
Really appreciate it, Mana, for all the information that you share with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. I'm always happy to talk to you about UNICEF work.
In international news, First Nations students from remote communities across Central Australia have gathered for a 3-day sport and storytelling festival. It took place about 300 kilometers southwest of Alice Springs. The event also aimed to teach children about employment pathways in their backyard.
Learning about country, hearing stories, and, of course, playing sport. Kids from across Aboriginal communities in the vast centre of Australia this week gathering in the remote Luritja homeland of Lilla, tucked against the red rocks of Wataka National Park.
It's about learning, it's about healthy eating, it's about becoming strong, it's about, sport, it's all these wonderful things.
This is the 10th iteration of the festival run by the Wataka Foundation, aimed at keeping children in school. Here at Lilla Sports and Storytelling Festival, these children are learning. It's cool to go to school! While primary school camps are a rite of passage for most, with remote community schools facing unique challenges, for some of these kids, this is their first time.
I liked about when the old man said about the culture things, teaching me a lot of stuff that all the old people used to do.
Kings Canyon Resort on board, highlighting career pathways in hospitality not far from home. A local tour operator building the Lilla connection over decades.
And we are so lucky to be able to work with the local mob, work on country, work within their special space and respect their culture and help keep it alive for the futures to come.
When they like to play for coloring, read a book or the folk story.
And what's a school camp without a disco? A week of joy and learning in the desert.
One of Australia's most endangered marsupials has just taken a big step back into the wild. Burrowing bettongs were once extinct on the mainland, but they've now been released into Stark National Park and could be about to change the outback ecosystem for the better.
Slowly emerging before quickly skipping into the night, a handful of burrowing bettongs return to the desert for the first time in decades. Delighting onlookers from national parks, local graziers and the UNSW team overseeing it.
The burrowing bettong used to be across most of mainland Australia, but we believe by about the 1930s was basically gone completely from the mainland and only existed on 2 offshore islands.
The introduction of pests like cats and foxes led to the local extinction of these football-sized relatives of kangaroos. But after 2 years of breeding behind barriers within Sturt National Park, staff here have spent days trapping them.
Make a little nest in there.
And are now setting them free into an area called the Wild Training Zone, which contains a low density of feral predators.
This is an area where we're going to be able to train these bettongs to be more predator aware, particularly of cats.
We know that animals can live in a fence where there's no predators and nothing worrying them, but getting them beyond the fence and back into the landscape where they can continue on their natural function, I guess, and their ecological role, that'll be the key part.
Each of these so-called ecosystem engineers move around 3 tonnes of soil a year.
They are very important in terms of turning over the soil and nutrients and seed cycling, but also providing refuges for other animals.
These bettongs are the 5th native species the team have reintroduced in recent years, including greater bilbies, golden bandicoots and western quolls. With over 400 bilbies released over the past 18 months, ecologists are hoping to see the newly released bettongs have similar success in the wild training zone.
It's a very big bilby. This is why I'm not holding it, Bill.
Those bilbies are going really, really well outside, so we're seeing dispersal across the whole area. We're seeing really good signs of breeding, and so that's fantastic news for us.
Over the coming weeks and months, the team at Wild Deserts will continue to closely monitor the population of bettongs living beyond the fences, making sure they've been able to establish themselves and integrate into the environment.
We put radio collars on them because we want to find out how they're doing. We want to see how they survive.
Surviving is one part of this story, but we need animals to survive and then actually breed the next generation that are predator smart.
Rejuvenating this once decimated desert ecosystem, one species at a time.
And now the weather, starting with Dili. Sunny to partly cloudy, a top temperature of 31 and a low of 23 degrees. Partly sunny with a couple of afternoon showers in Bokau. Temperatures ranging between 27 and 20 degrees. In autumn, partly sunny with a couple of showers in the afternoon, a high of 27 and a low of 22 degrees. Humid with a couple of morning showers in Bobonaro, clearing throughout the day. A top temperature of 25 and a low of 17. And in Aleu, sun breaking through clouds with scattered afternoon showers, temperatures ranging between 24 and 15. Now, looking abroad. Mostly sunny, windy and humid in Kupang, a high of 31 and a low of 24. In Bali, partly sunny with a couple of showers in the afternoon, temperatures ranging between 33 and 22. Partly sunny in Jakarta with a couple of afternoon thunderstorms, a top of 33 and a low of 23. In Seoul, shifting clouds and sun with a couple of showers in the afternoon, a high of 29 and a low of 18 degrees. Windy with plenty of sunshine in Darwin, temperatures ranging between 31 and 19 degrees. Clearing and sunny in Sydney, a high of 18 and a low of 9 degrees. In Lisbon, warm with plenty of sunshine, temperatures ranging between 32 and 20 degrees. Mostly cloudy and very warm in London, a top temperature of 29 and a low of 19. And occasional rain and drizzle in Belfast, a top temperature of 20 and a low of 13 degrees. Thanks for joining us again on the program. RTTL World News will be back with more stories on Thursday. Bye for now.